Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio. I want to call this a news brief or whatever you want to call it. It is Saturday night, November 21st, and 9:02 p.m. Central Standard Time. My name is Mel Popeye Moss. I am your host each and every week, along with OG on Texas Biker Radio. Next one coming up is number 422. So, why am I here tonight? Well, I was going to wait a couple of days for things to kind of filter out, but as I saw what was going on today, and we participated in a Trump train out of Burleson, Texas, and of course, these are going on all across the nation, all across Texas. There was a big one in Austin today, and I haven't seen video of it yet, but this is happening here, there, everywhere, and it should continue, because this is not over. It's not over. So we've got work to do, and part of that work is these rallies and rides and everything else we can do in order to push back against the narrative of the mainstream media. And we're going to do just that going forward. We're going to do just that. Now let me say this. Today, and I just posted a picture on Sons of Liberty Riders MC on Facebook, and this was the picture, and here we go. Right there. That's me. Now, some of the comments on there was, hey, how I looked. And, of course, I want to say to you, this year has been, in particular, bad for me because in January, I had a cancer that had to be dealt with, and I was lucky to get it in before all the hospitals shut down, of other type surgeries other than COVID type stuff going on. So I was very lucky, and so was OG, because we both had the same cancer at the same time in different places. And so I've taken a beating this year between the cancer and the COVID virus. And anybody that saw me 8 months ago, 12 months ago, would know that I looked different than how I look now. Weight loss is the main thing. And, I am self-conscious about it. I will be trying to do everything I can do to get my weight back up and in shape. That being said, I'm really pissed of what China has released upon our nation and around the world. And I'm going to say to you here in a few minutes just what my ideas are about that. But right now, let's talk about the rallies that went on today. You see up here in this picture, that was a bridge we were on over 35W outside of Burleson, Texas. Now, that was great fun. It was great fun. We got all kinds of responses, people honking, giving us high fives, everything going on. Hey, it was all good and great. Fun to do. And as everybody knows, I believe in these protests. I believe in getting your message out there. And I do believe that this has to continue, and matter of fact is, we need to ratchet it up. This needs to be happening somewhere every night. And for you guys in these states that had your elected officials participate in the coup, in the scam, whatever you want to call it, You need to be out there and in their face. You need to be out there in front of your legislature and demanding that the election that we just had is on the up and up. In other words, that it was fair and the votes were counted properly and not skewed by individuals or machines. And so here we go. And we got a lot of people out there that are really ready to just give up. No, that should not be in your vocabulary. Give up. Shouldn't be. It's not in mine. It's not in mine. I could go on and enjoy my retirement and do other things, but that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So right now, the way I see it, we've got to push back. We've got to do everything within our power, not only to have the president's back, but people within these states, the elected officials, your legislatures, they need to have the guts to do the right thing. Number one, you push them there. Number two, you have their backs. You have their backs. For those that are willing to step up and say, something is wrong here, something is wrong. The numbers don't add up. The way people were treated doesn't add up. Something is wrong. Get it right, and get it right now. That's what I'm saying. There is no turning around from this point. There is no turning around. So, hey, if nobody's going to do it, if nobody's brave enough to stand up there, you do it. I do it. And I've been doing it for years. You know, and getting to the China virus and all this stuff, and the things I'm just really, really pissed off. You know, I don't want to hear about no conspiracy theories about a lab in Florida or any of this other bullshit. I know what I've seen since January when all this shit was released onto the world by China. And what was said by the different groups that's out there for you to see and discover if you haven't seen it from the beginning. The role the World Health Organization played in giving cover to the Chinese government. I mean, the list runs on and on and on. The misinformation that's out there, the crap that's going on. I am pissed. And you know what, everybody? Here's my deal. We've got to make them pay. Whether it be China, whether it be those within our own government, we've got to make them pay. And you go, well, okay, how do we do about it? How do we do about that? Well, look, hey, you have to understand where our country came from. You have to really understand what the Sons of Liberty Riders and the things that, not Sons of Liberty Riders, but Sons of Liberty and the role they played in the American Revolution. Do you think those people were going to turn and run? Of course, half the country, more than half, only 3% were willing to pitch in and help. But all it takes is a spark and a desire. And let me tell you, when I talked about the other night, when I said, hey, wait a minute, we outnumber all these fools. We outnumber them. We've got 70-something million Trump voters. We've got 28 million veterans that took an oath to defend our Constitution, protect and defend our Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We have oath keepers out there by the thousands. We have all this stuff. We outnumber them. And we've got to light the fire. We've got to light the fire. You know, and I would say to you, even if they manage to push this crap through, this fraudulent election, even if they manage to do it, I would say to you, this government that would come about because of it would be illegitimate. It would be illegitimate. It would never be legitimate in my eyes until they have audited and gone through all the processes of verifying each and every vote. And the true numbers and outcomes. This is what we need to do. We need to demand it. And if we don't get that, this government that would be coming upon us is not legitimate. And then we start from there. It's like I said, make them pay. Make them pay. And number one, you know, hey, look, Joe Biden is not going to go after China. He's in bed with them. He's in bed with them. His son's in bed with him. Many other politicians are in bed with him. So I would say to you, this Christmas season, now, have you a T-shirt made up like this. Or whatever you want. Let me tell you, somebody asked me, well, I want one, how I get one. I'm going to tell you how to get one. You go up to your local mall and you have one made. Hey, they're entrepreneurs. They're in business. They want to make some money. So, you know, hey, look, it's relatively cheap compared to a Harley T-shirt. But you can bet I'm going to be wearing this around. And you can bet I'm going to be sending that message. This, starting now, make every effort to buy American. Every effort. Don't buy that cheap shit that they're selling on Facebook, that they're selling in Amazon. If it's not American made, you can't buy American made, even if it's more expensive. Look, think of what you're doing to your damn country. And the other thing is, we've got to demand that manufacturing come back to this country even more than it is right now, and it's starting with pharmaceutical companies. Get them either back to the United States or back to Puerto Rico, wherever they need to come back. They need to come back. And the other thing you do is you share and you like, but it's so important that you get out there. It really is. Latch on to one of these organizations. They had 2 or 3 protests today. They had to stop the seal in Atlanta. They had the walk away rally. That was kind of interesting. A lot of F-bombs. Of course, they're young people. And so, you know, hey, look. I do believe that's a sign of passion, because I couldn't think of any other word like is on that T-shirt. I'll do it again. Like is on this T-shirt, I couldn't think of any other word to show my disgust, my hate for what's going on. I couldn't think of another word. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Joe Biden, if he is elected, with these fraudulent vote counts, it'll never, never be legitimate. And we should treat him just like that. Just like that. And we should go at them every step of the way in order to resist and slow him down. Hey, guess what? That sound familiar? That sound familiar? So we've got to work together. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you got to do. We're on a bunch of different platforms now. You know, that picture is still up on Facebook. I'm surprised I'm not in Facebook jail, because they did send me a nasty gram about it. But understand, if we get knocked off or I get thrown into jail, we are on Parler, we are on MeWe, and we're researching other platforms right now. We're there. We're there. And we do have a choice. We don't have to be on Facebook. We don't have to be. And especially since they sell so much cheap China shit. And you've seen me talk about that debate and switching that goes on through those using sales tactics to get you to buy something that is really substandard. It really is. So like I said, go to the mall, have you a neat shirt made up. That thing there was simple enough. It's a emblem of China, and my message to them. My message to them. Don't wait on us. Go get it made now so you can get the message out there. And yeah, I'll be doing some others as I go forward here. I'll be making some others. Just as an example for you guys going forward. Now, we've got limited time to change this thing around. And I do agree with the congressman. I can't remember what his name was. But he was talking about, we should have caught them in the act. Not after the fact. We should have caught them in the act. And so as they were doing this, and people need to be in jail. People need to be in jail. But let me say this, and you've heard me say this before. We've spent billions of dollars for our Homeland Security, FBI, other agencies that's supposed to look out for this nation. And, they're able to, they claim they were able to listen in to all these communications all around the world and all across this country. They're supposed, they know what the hell's going on. You're going to tell me that nobody within Homeland Security, nobody within the FBI was privy to the plans that were being made in the background. I find that hard to believe, and I hope you do too. Now, what does this tell us? Are they part of the deep state? Is that how deep it runs? I mean, even our military has an investigative team that watches all this stuff. They had no clue that any of this was going on. They had no idea. Really? And nobody made a move or an effort to expose it? When we have politicians selling themselves to foreign countries all over the world, including the Clintons and their Clinton Foundation, who piled up $2 billion, then Hillary comes up and says, hey, never concede, never concede. You knew the fix was in. And Donald Trump told us. He told us. So evidently, the agencies, including the Department of Justice, are just blind to it all, or they're part of it, one or the other. I'm having a hard time with all this, everybody, a real hard time. And you will find me here pretty soon out in front of the frickin' federal building in Dallas, Texas, telling the FBI what a piece of crap they are. You want to defund something? Start with them. Start with their sorry asses. Start with Homeland Security. And you're right, nobody wants to listen. That's the reason we got to push back against these pieces of crap like CNN. And let me tell you guys, if I hear them one more time have a group of panelists on talking about getting rid of conservatives, and I mean they're talking about killing us, eliminating us, that is a terroristic threat to me. And any of those bastards approach me, they're going to be in deep shit. Because I will dispatch them as they're threatening to do to me. And we have a right to defend ourselves against these people that are threatening to kill a whole group of American citizens just because they don't agree with them. It's not right, it's not un-American, and it is against the Constitution. I have a right to protect myself against these type of people. And law enforcement, if you're not going to take care of them, there's going to be a point where we have to take care of them. And that's the truth of it. And let me tell you, and I know I'm jumping around, as I was out today, I'm through with my quarantine. As I was out today, there's people out everywhere in Texas. They're not going to go back into lockdown. They're just not going to put up with it. They're not going to do it. And for my friends that are in the hospital right now, two of them that got the same medicines that Trump had, they're doing better, and they may be released by Wednesday. So, terribly proud of that. Terribly proud of the they're not 100% the hospitals. They don't all do the same thing, but there are more and more people that are surviving the coronavirus. And let me say, well, I thought I had a video of it. Anyway, I'll post that thing here on Sons of Liberty Riders MC on Facebook. The survivor rate, even among 70 years old, is really, really high. Meaning, since January, it has just dropped down to where it's really low amount of death rate for every 100 people. So they're doing a good job. They're saving lives. And despite that the coronavirus is spiking up, now everybody panics over hospital capacity. Around here in Texas, if it gets up to 15%, they start panicking. 15% I'm talking about. They start panicking and start wanting to push all the buttons. Well, number one, they should not panic. They should not. But we've got our rally coming up here November 28th and on the front steps of the Tarrant County Courthouse. We're going to have our China virus survivors rally. It's not just for survivors. It's for anybody and everybody, including first responders, medical people, anybody. Yeah. Now, we are showing there may be some weather that day, so, hey, look, if it's bring your umbrella. bring your umbrella, because we're going to have it regardless of what the weather is. Bring your umbrella, bring your umbrella, and drive your car if you need be. There's no shame in that. Give us some backup, and give us some security too. Of course, we're able to take care of that, aren't we? Our Second Amendment gives us that right. Just in case any crazies decide they want to show up. And they need to understand this is about first responders and other things we're going to be saying. But we welcome you, you guys that are in the North Texas area, to come on in and join us. We always have a good time at these things. It's not all doom and gloom out there, everybody. It is not. It is not. Now, I would like to say something about depression. And I know there are a lot of people, they've been locked up so long, their children have been locked up, nobody's allowed to go on with their lives because the teachers are so screwed up. There is a lot of depression going on out there. I know because I talked to one of my children about it today. He's really upset. Really upset. And every time I go into the VA, they ask me if I'm depressed. Are you depressed? And I just say, what the hell are you talking about? Am I depressed? I've never been depressed a day in my life. What are you talking about? Well, we got to ask that question. And every once in a while, my GP asks me that too. I said, what the hell? I said, you know me. You know better than that. I don't get depressed. I fight back. There's no time for being depressed. There's no time for being down. And that goes for today all the way up to the next election cycle, the next midterms. We're not going to let go of them. And if the worst does happen, we're going to point shit out every which of the way. I mean, which sector is going to fall first is what I would be saying. But right now, we've got a battle to win in the courts. We've got a battle to win against the mainstream media and pieces of crap like CNN. We got to take them on. We got to take them on. And if you see a group of CNN people, again, making threats at conservatives, at the American people, at Trump supporters, get that video to me. Please get it to me. Because we're going to take that and we're going to beat the hell out of them and not let up. Understand, we have the power. We have the power. China needs us worse than we need them. They really do. We stop buying their shit, guess what? They got 1 billion people to feed. They'll fold like a cheap suit. A constant drumbeat against the people within our government that are ready to sell us out. We get out there a constant drumbeat. You see Antifa out there every night in Oregon and all these other places. It's a constant freaking drumbeat. Is what that is. And I'll say hi to a few people on the chat line. Ironhead, email me, gunbarreltx@gmail.com, gunbarreltx@gmail.com. Please. Let me see. Let me get my. Let's say hi to some people. Ironhead, Trucker Live, Jerry, Molly Noonan, Pugsley out in West Texas. You guys are having fun talking, I can tell. Don't be an ass or whatever that says. I never get that right, guys. Lori D, how are you doing? Yeah, I understand your frustration, darling, when you said nobody wants to listen. That's true. But you know what? There are millions out there that will listen. They will. And just because you think no one's listening, there are. There are. Now, don't be so frustrated. There are millions and millions out there just like you. They're just like you. They have the same concerns. They have the same frustrations. And that's the truth of it. I've been at this since 2004 or maybe 2006. When I retired and closed down my motorcycle shop, I retired from aircraft, and then I decided to sell my motorcycle shop and retire there. And then I looked around for what to do, and I discovered politics. And then when I did discover it and I started looking, I went, what the hell? What in the hell is going on here? How did we let it get this bad? And it's steadily gotten worse. And I'll tell you why it's gotten worse. Because we've always been behind. We've been starting from behind each and every time. Each election cycle, just like it happened here, we started out behind, even though we had had a hint from Hillary Clinton what was going to happen. I think the problem here is we didn't know how deep it was. But we should have known, since the FBI refused to do their job 4 years ago. And Homeland Security can't find their ass from a hole in the ground. You know? So we're going to be working hard. And we hope you take this ride along with us. Whether it be on the internet or, you know, and I especially encourage you to join a group near your hometown or home state. Because I know, like the Ironhead, he's out of Michigan, and we definitely one day this week want to get him on the show. Now on Tuesday night, Texas Biker Radio number 422, OG and I will be picking back up on what is going on here in Texas with motorcycle profiling, the police, and everything that's going on here. Because now it has raised its ugly head again. And of course, as you know, we're all about the Constitution and people that have had their constitutional rights violated. And guess what? That would not only be motorcyclists, that would be every freaking voter out there that has had their vote disenfranchised by all this fraud. So it's time to step up, everybody. It's not time to quit. It's not time to quit. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. We're a long ways from that. We're a long ways from that. Everybody, I see. I hear you, Ironhead. Old Michigan got busted. That's true. That's true. Anyway, if you would send me an email so I can talk to you and set things up. And you guys, don't be strangers. Contribute. We've asked you before. If you got a story you want to tell, send it to me at the same email address I just gave Ironhead, gunbarreltx@gmail.com. And just put in the heading, got a story to tell. Got a story to tell. And tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods, in your community, and in your state. And yeah, you can even send biker stuff to us. We'll cover that too. Because bottom line, that's who we are. We just happen to be a little bit different. This is Butch Popeye Moss with Texas Biker Radio. Have a good evening. Ride safe, everybody. If you don't have a motorcycle, get one. Stand up. Stand up for your family. Stand up for your neighbors. Stand up for your state. Stand up for your country. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.